Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Flash for the Win. Welcome back to another StarCastTV commentary. This will be a best of 3 series between two players, Sharp and Yoon. Yoon is going to be our yellow Zerg here on Neosylphid, spawning up at the 12 o'clock position, which means that over here at the 4 o'clock position as the blue Terran, it's going to be Sharp. So, everyone knows who Sharp is at this point, I think. You know, I view him as an A-level Terran, very strong. You can definitely count on him to make the round of 8 in most large tournaments. But he can occasionally get further than that, but mostly will just sit into the round of 8 and then will proceed to get knocked out there. He's a good player. TvZ style, definitely very interesting. It's almost like a battle Terran style rather than your slow-paced siege tank dropship warfare. So it's very exciting to watch him play TvZs. On the other side of the map, we have Yoon. He is a Zerg player, amateur Zerg player. From what I know about him, that Cruiser told me that he played Flash in essentially 10 games and won 4 of them. And a lot of people think that he has some of the best Zerg or Zerg Mutalisk micro right now in the game. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game plays out. Obviously, in a ZVT 2-hatch metagame, that obviously good meta micro is going to be very important right now. So anyways, as we get into this game, we're going to see that Sharp here is going to go for this forward 8 racks in the middle of the map, and at home he's also building supply depot right now to make sure that when the barracks is lifted to land back home, he's going to have himself a wall, and we'll see if he throws down the gas. Yes, there it is. Going right into the factory right after this bunker rush that is going to be coming out here. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, Yoon here has gone for this 12 hatchery build. So it will be very curious to see how well Yoon is going to defend against this forward 8 racks. Now Sharp's SCV here is going to come in, is going to see that there is no 12 hatch, and he's going to go immediately right up into that 12 o'clock position where Yoon is. He's going to start banking up a couple of these Marines, and then most likely will pull a couple of SCVs here. Drone is going to see the supply depot, no barracks. So right when Yoon comes in here and sees this, he's going to be like, oh, he might be doing a 14cc. And he's going to come in and see the gas and be like, oh, wait, no, this is absolutely not a 14cc build. This is going to be a bunker rush. And so the spawning pool is almost done right now, but the bunker is going to be started soon. The Overlord does see the SCV here out front. The drone is going to be pulled here to try to block the bunker placement. But here we go. Will the bunker be thrown down? It has to be in range of the hatchery. That's all that matters right now. No, not going for the bunker, actually. He's just going to put pressure here onto the Zerg, force him to pull some drones. The drones are faster than these Marines. We'll see how good these movie shots are. Really nice movie shots here. So far, managed to pick off 1 Marine in exchange for 1 drone. 1 more drone gets picked off here. Some nice micro there by the SCV, blocking the drones from getting to those back Marines. So, 1 Marine ended up going down, 2 drones going down. So, overall, a pretty worthwhile trade, I would say, here. From Sharp, the fact that he didn't lose many of these Marines means that the Zergling counterattack won't be as effective as you might hope for. But at the same time now, because the Marines are in the middle of the map, these Zerglings can try to go for a backstab here, but unfortunately, he's already seen that the supply depot is right here at the front, so he most likely knows that this wall has been finished. He is going to be building a creep colony now. He did see the gas coming out, so he knows that this not machine shot, but that this vulture follow-up will be coming out here very shortly. The Zerglings going to top these Marines. Really great micro here from Yoon, a little bit of sloppiness from Sharp here, allowing these Marines to go down very easily. I feel like he should have just brought them back home, set up some kind of defensive posture. He knows that this layer will be started very shortly, and he's going to be starting at the natural just to kind of bait this SCV, thinking, oh no, I'm going for speed first, not for layer first. But I'm sure that Sharp will know that it is going to be layer first. I mean, again, in this meta, fast metas is really all that matters at this moment. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going to be seeing Sharp take his natural expansion very soon. This Vulture obviously is going to do a very good job here of defending the natural from any of these Zerglings. And I'm sure that Sharp has seen that this layer has gone down. Hydra's Den is being built mainly just to protect and form a wall here in case that Sharp has gone for a very fast starport and gone for some kind of Wraith play, which obviously we see here that the starport has gone down. This is so super common with these forward 8 racks into gas builds. So nothing really out of the ordinary. Yoon is already prepared very well for this play. Hydra's Den has already been finished. First couple of Hydralisks will be popping out here just to defend against this Wraith. Obviously, 1 Overlord is back here to try to get some scouting information, see when this natural timing is being placed. He sees the SCV there, no command center, so he knows that the command center has not been started yet, so he's going to be pretty okay here economically. Now Spire is being started, grabbing the second gas, so he's going to have quite a bit of gas income to make sure that he's going to be able to pump out 6 Mutalisks right away. The Wraith is going to be flying overhead and seeing all this, so we most likely will see either the Engineering Bay coming out here for those missile turrets, or we could even see some kind of Valkyrie play or fast science vessels. These are all options that the Terran player has, and it looks like we will be going to that fast science vessel build. So this is also a little bit risky though, and the reason I say that is when Flash was starting to try to do this build back in 2009, 2010, there was a lot of issues with this because what would happen is he would end up losing the science vessel a little too quickly, and also relies a lot on the very first irradiate being pretty solid in order to deal with these Mutalisks, and going back into a bio play after doing this very fast tech play from Factory Starport Science Facility. And it's really going to come down to how well that this science vessel's first irradiate is going to come down. Obviously Sharp here, without that second base early on, is going to be hard pressed to get that gas. So in this situation, it's going to be really hard for him to defend, because all the pressure is going to be on him to make sure that he really executes this properly. Whereas if you were to just go into mass turrets and delay, this might be a lot easier to hold off. Now obviously his economy might be a little bit more hampered if he goes into mass turrets, which we'll see here. He's going to definitely go into a couple turrets, but we're going to have to see how much of that play goes into this irradiate here. If he wants to bank on the fact that the irradiate will be good, he's going to place down very minimal missile turrets, maybe just 2 at each location. If he doesn't, then he's going to probably have to build 3 at each location. And we even see the Scourge coming out here in order to try to pressure the Wraiths overhead. But also, now that the Wraiths had gone home and we only made 1, that these Scourge can also be used again for the science facility. I'm not sure if the Overlord that ended up getting picked off here was managed to see the science facility, but potentially he could see it again here. So we canceled the missile turret here, because he's going to really rely on this science vessel. Now again, this fast tech though does mean that this initial push out from him with Irradiate plus potentially siege tanks or just mass bio is going to be very, very effective of dealing with any kind of Zerg tech, because Zerg tech here is not going to be as fast as compared to the Terran tech. He's not going to have Hive, he's not going to have Swarm, which means that these vessels are going to be able to get so much incremental damage with those irradiates as the game goes on. And so Yoon is going to be put into a position where he says, either I have to go into almost a battle Zerg style and try to crush the Terran force, or I just need to stall for as long as possible, even though I'm going to lose many, many lurkers. Here comes that first irradiate, as we said before. Not the best split. Some decent damage onto these Mutalisks. One Mutalisk will end up going down here, and now the vessel will be pulled back towards those missile turrets and make sure that it stays alive for as long as possible. And we're going to see here that this Mutalisk Hydra Break is going to try to come through. So many more Mutalisks are being built right now. This looks more and more like an all-in as we progress through this game here from the Zerg player. I think he realizes that he is way too far behind in tech for when that first science vessel does come out. And we're going to see the first siege tank coming out as well. This will help hold off any kind of all-in, at least for ground, so much more. And this missile turret ring that we see right now here in the natural base and in the main base is a fairly good area here. But again, the problem is that once that first irradiate goes down, there's just not a whole lot to defend here until he gets another irradiate out. Now he does have a second science vessel out, so once the second science vessel comes out more, the Scourge will really collect onto the science vessel. The missile turrets are focused onto those Mutalisks, and yes, that vessel does end up going down. The one with actually higher energy does go down. And this is the problem here of going for this very fast irradiate, relying on the fast irradiate build, is now also these Mutalisks are going to be able to just camp right on top of the production here for the Terran player until that this irradiate energy comes out. And even so, the Mutalisks are actually relatively spread out here, where a irradiate will not even be building on top. Now the Mutalisks are clumped up here. We're going to see the irradiate coming out here. We need to see the irradiate. Sharp, where's the irradiate? Oh, he irradiated one of the low health Mutalisks. That's so bad for him. The Mutalisks are getting top. All the Mutalisks will end up going down though, but there's no siege tank for splash damage on these links. Not enough Marines, because the Marines end up going down to those Mutalisks, and that's going to be GG. Really well played here by Yoon, and this is the struggles of going for this very fast, greedy tech build that Sharp has going for it. That I said before that Flash had some struggles executing back in 2010. It really relying upon the Terran player to get those beautiful irradiates off, and for the Zerg to not split very well. And we saw there, the split was okay, not the best, obviously, but again, only one irradiate, and then the second vessel being sniped by Scourge that was only 5 seconds away from getting another irradiate out. The build is just so hard to execute, and I really don't think that Terrans especially after going for an 8 racks build, should be going for a fast Science Vessel Rush. I think that off of a 1 racks fast expand, a fast tech build makes more sense because you have the economy to support a much larger ground army with more Marines and more missile turrets. But if you're going off that 1 base 8 racks build, you know, it's a lot harder to execute because you don't have the economy to fall back on in case something wrong happens with your vessels. You know, you can afford to lose a vessel and you'll still have that large army in order to support defending against those Mutalisks. And we saw there, you know, you don't have the economy. You only have 1 barracks of worth of production for Marines, and otherwise the rest of your minerals is going into those missile turrets. Anyways, it looks like we're going to be going on to Escalade for this game 2. Sharp spawning up here at the top right hand position as the red Terran, which means down here at the bottom left hand position as the brown Zerg, it's going to be Yoon. I mean, I didn't see quite enough of Yoon's meter micro there in that game. Most of the micro, I've got to say, was mostly just trying to snipe that science vessel, the second vessel, and just flying over and doing the Ling Mutalisk all in there at the front of the base. We're going to see Sharp here planting down a supply depot here at the natural, so it could be looking like either maybe a mech build or a 14cc. Usually when you see the supply depot at the very front, it's indicative of some kind of greedy build, fast expand into a mech build, or just 1 racks fast expand into a mech build. But it could just be 1 racks fast expand to also a 5 racks play, you know. But I know that Flash loved doing the setup here and then going right into a fast command center and then doing a very greedy style of build where he would just delay his production for as long as possible or just go straight into some kind of, you know, 3, 4, 5 factory mech build. I know that 4GG also did this one build. I think it was on Eye of the Storm in one of the old ASLs. I forget against who. It might have been against Effort. Where he went for, I think this was one of the really early ASLs. He was on Eye of the Storm, he was spawned top right-hand position, Effort was spawned bottom left, or bottom right-hand position, and he went for the 14cc with the supply depot wall off here at the front of his natural, and then just crushed Effort with some kind of really big mech Goliath push. But anyways, we're going to see exactly what Sharp's follow-up will be. He is saving up money for that command center, but immediately plopping down that supply depot to make sure that this wall-off happens and that this drone scout will not be able to get in. So SCV will be coming over here to scout. It will be a 12 hatchery build here from Yoon. And Yoon going straight into that spawning pool and the gas. So again, we're probably going to see a very fast layer here as soon as he gets the 100 gas. SCV will be coming in here and scout everything that he's doing, so he knows that it's not any kind of early pool build. But even if it was an early pool build, I mean, this wall off is just so stable that we're not going to see any damage being done here by Yoon in the first place. Gas now coming down here at about 18-19 supply. This is a little bit early here for any kind of 5 racks build, so I do expect this to be mech or some kind of tech build that he will be going for. I don't think that this will be a fast +1 bio build. I could be wrong though. Could also just very well be just an engineering bay. And yeah, it looks like I'm just wrong. This is very fast actually. Normally what you would see here, especially when you don't build the command center first, you build the second supply depot first, is that you'll see the gas normally about 20 supply, the eBay at 22 supply. So this is a little interesting to me that we'll see this slightly faster. Now obviously the builds might have deviated slightly, but I remember the Flash doing his tutorial at least on YouTube that he says that it's about 19-20 gas and 22 eBay. This eBay is very quick at about 20 supply. So I guess maybe that there is potentially a faster +1 timing here for Sharp that he's going to be trying to go for and execute. Now again, the +1 5 racks build against 2 hatch can work out. The only issue is that this Spire is coming down so quickly here for the Zerg player that, you know, the meters are going to be in the base before the 5 racks is even finished. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people say, well, when you scout the Zerg, you can't go for this 5 racks +1 because you actually get countered by the 2 hatch meter speed. The speed in which the meters come out that just ends up crushing you because you spend so much of your time devoted to building up those missile turrets to defend that you're not even going to be able to produce from those initial 5 barracks. But again, I haven't really seen the 5 racks being used against 2 hatch meters, at least lately. So it definitely has changed most likely, and that we'll see Sharp maybe has some kind of new build order in plan to deal with that possibility of facing really fast Mutalisks. And we're going to see here that right off the bat, that very fast third base coming out here from Yoon. I mean, he knows that there is the wall here. I don't think he scouted inside the base, but I don't think that he's seen enough Marines here out front to expect that this will be a two racks academy build, in which case going for this very early third hatchery is a little bit too greedy for him. And you'll note that the 2 barracks academy builds that go and pressure the Zerg is normally about this time right now. It's about the 5:10, even a little bit earlier at maybe 4:55 is when they'll have about, so let's say 7, even 9 Marines, and then 2 medics to follow up, and then 2 firebats to follow up, or 1 medic, 1 firebat to follow up. And so that will be really dangerous for the Zerg to deal with, and he'll need to have a lot of sun colonies to defend. Now, he will see the spires coming up here. Milos are already on the way, as we said, and these barracks here are not even finished yet. So his production is not going to kick in. Maybe he's just going off 4 barracks, actually. And I think this is actually potentially a very good middle ground instead of going for the full 5 racks build that eventually has so much pressure for the Terran to do damage that if he doesn't get any pressure off of a 5 racks build, he's actually just behind because his tech is so far delayed. I know that Nyokin is definitely a big fan of the 4 racks build, and he'll tell you all about why the 4 racks 2-1 timing that Terran has is so much better than the 5 racks build. But I'll let Nyokin in one of his future commentaries talk about that. But I do think that Sharp is definitely looking more and more like he is going to be going out for that +1 4 racks build, not 5 racks, so he'll actually be able to get his tech up in time to deal with any kind of very fast hive tech. Now, Yoon here, as you can see, going with that very fast +1 Milos upgrade. So this is going to be a very, very aggressive meal style. Normally you would see carapace being built. This is normally the standard nowadays, is the carapace. You want to make sure that your meals stay alive for as long as possible. But with the +1 attack upgrade, they'll be able to 2-shot turrets before Terran even has any time to react to the meals being coming to the meals shooting it down. Yeah, Mio's coming in here. A big hole actually here for a Terran base. Now, Yoon's Micro here has been relatively solid. He's been able to pick off quite a few of these SCVs right now. But now, in the meantime, because of this big barracks build that Sharp has been going for, we're going to see this enormous push out in the middle of the map. And this is trying to draw a lot of pressure here so that the Mitos leave the base alone. And this is exactly what the 5 racks build, or sorry, the 4 racks build, these big barracks builds have been relying upon. And now this third base here, only 1 sun colony here to defend. It's going to be very difficult here for Yoon to defend this base unless he's able to power out a lot more Zerglings, a lot more Mitos here. Now we see the Mitos here, a couple game picked off. Once that +1 Marine upgrade gets finished, both the weapons upgrade and the range upgrade, it's so much harder for these Mitos to engage onto these Marines. Now, even though its army is not quite as big as normally would be with a 5 racks build, I mean, we're going to see how damaged these Mitos are getting right now. And so Yoon has to be very careful. Another Mitos going down. Another Mitos going down. Really great micro here from Sharp with this Mitos target firing here. Some of the Zerglings will get on top of these Marines. Sharp did not manage to bring his reinforcements in time. So this is actually a pretty significant win here for Yoon. Yoon is able to pick off effectively 1/2 of the army here from Sharp. Sharp not able to reinforce the army in time. And this means that this push here is going to be delayed even further. These Mitos are able to delay for more time for that +1 upgrade to finish as well. Buy more time for some more defenses to be built up in form of either Sun Colonies or Zerglings, and it looks like he's just building Mitos. He's being very greedy right now, not building any Zerglings or additional Sun Colonies here to defend, because he knows that right now Sharp is going to be stuck inside of his base. The army is just going to be cut in half, and this is exactly what these Mitos are doing. You see the position here from these Mitos are in the middle of the map here, to the right of this initial group of bio. He wants to make sure that this bio group cannot get reinforced by a secondary main force, which is what happened with the first group of Marines. And we're going to see here how this force goes out. Just going to stop microing here, go right on top of this bio group. And this is the struggle here right now for Sharp to deal with. Once this group goes down, again, now this new group is smaller. This new group has nothing to reinforce right now, and there's nothing that he can do in order to rebuild up a bio ball. He has to stay back in his base. He cannot move out of the map. If he moves out of the map right now, he's going to end up losing all of his units, and then this allows Yoon to just really drone up. He's able to set himself up really well for the late game transition. As we can see, these missile turrets here, he doesn't have the full 11 right now. I don't think he's got the full 11 Mitos. Yeah, end up losing a lot of these Mitos actually. Really poor micro here from Yoon. A little bit over aggressive getting into this base over here. And he's really trying to push more and more ahead. But I don't like this. He's really getting greedy right now. He needs to wait for the full 11 Milos ball to come into form. And he needs to either transition into Hive right now, or start building up a significant transition into maybe Lurkers, or get a lot more Zerglings out to deal with this big bio ball. God, he's losing so many meters right now. He's doing a good amount of damage, but the problem is that without these meters, the meters is his whole game plan right now. He's got so many badly damaged meters that if he ends up taking one bad engagement, he's gonna end up losing this game. Sharp's reinforcements right now are starting to build up. If he can just rebuild up his bio ball in the middle of the map, it's gonna be so difficult here for Yoon to defend. He's only got one Sun Colony. The Ling Force that he has is very insignificant. It's only got about 8 Zerglings right now. So all he has to do is wait, make sure that he can build back his bio ball, wait for the reinforcements here from his natural, and I think that Sharp will be in a very good position here to move forward. He's also got his tech coming up right now, science facility, control tower going up, so he'll have a radiate very soon. He could even go into armory and go Valkyries. I mean, he knows that right now Yoon is committed to this big Mutalisk build right now. He's not going for any kind of lurkers. He's not transitioning, or he's finally transitioned, sorry, into Hive and getting that lurker tech up right now. Right now, this bio ball is significant. No stim coming out here from Sharp. A little bit of a miss micro. He's losing a couple of Marines here haphazardly. There's the stim coming out here. And a lot of these moves right now are very badly damaged here. Yoon is going to continue to try to get some pressure down. But this bio ball, another wave of reinforcements here. Sharp is looking more and more scary here on the middle of the map. He is down supply, but he's got better supply. These Marines scale much better than these Mutas right now. Even though the Mutas do have that +1 attack upgrade, these Marines are going to be facing down against a Zerg without much static defenses here. And this is going to be an issue coming later on for Yoon. Once the radiate finishes, the radiate is about to finish, the science vessels are going to coming out, and that once he engages, tries to gauge the bio ball, radiates are going to come down, he's going to be really hard pressed to try to split those meals as fast as possible. Now again, his Mino Micro has been okay so far. He's picked up a lot of these Marines. The bio ball has not grown too significantly here, but the longer that this game goes out and the longer he does not have additional tech out, no Hive out, no better upgrades right now. I mean, he's trying to get Evolution Chamber, the Lurker upgrades about to finish. He's just trying to buy time right now, but these Mutas are so badly damaged that, again, one mistake from Yoon is all it takes here for him to just end up losing the whole game. Lings are going to try to come out here. I don't know if they're backstabbing. No, they're going to try to go for a surround here. This is exactly what he needs to do. Go in with the Lings first. Here it comes. The Lings are going to surround the Marines, and the Mutas are going to go right on top of this bio ball. All of the Mutas, nice target fire here, I think, from Sharp trying to pick off these Mutas, but unfortunately, just way too many Zerglings out right there, and he's ended up saving 6 of these Mutas right now. The whole bio ball ends up going down. Even more Mutas are being reinforced right now. And Sharp is now forced back in his base. That is the play that Yoon really needed. He needed to bank up a big ground army there with those Lings, even if he had Lurkers that have been better, and he was able to finally push out and break through. Now, these Mutas are very badly damaged from the initial engagement. We need to see the irradiates here. First irradiate going down, one vessel going down, 2 irradiates going down. Bad splitting here, really bad splitting. The whole Mutas flock just gets torn apart by the double irradiate, and now he needs to rely on these Lurkers to defend. And luckily, when you burn those initial irradiates on those Mutas, that means you don't have a lot of irradiates left over for those Lurkers. And also the fact that Yoon has really picked up this bio ball so much that he's been able to whittle this down, that these Marines are never going to be able to engage into this Lurker force. I mean, he's going to be able to try to snipe down 1 or 2. Oh, bad Lurker micro there, actually. The Lurkers actually just end up getting in range and not burrowing, so that was really poor micro there from Yoon. His Lurker engagement not going very well, and now with a 3rd and 4th vessel coming into the play, now these Lurkers are going to be starting to get much more pressured. The United Canals are going up right now. Defiler Mound is done. I think he's forgot Consume. Where's the Defilers? He's forgot Consume here. This is terrible here from Yoon. He has forgotten Consume entirely. The Mutas are banking up this irradiate energy, and now these Lurkers, once these Lurkers go down, I mean, that's going to be it. He's going to end up losing so much, again, incremental damage from these irradiates that it's going to be really difficult for him to defend. Another irradiate going down on another Lurker, and once these Lurkers start going down, there's only one Lurker here to defend. Where's the Nice Canal? The Nice Canal has been finished, but I think that the connections are the ones that are being built right now. He's got to be very careful. Sharp losing a couple of these Marines right now. But here he goes right into the Sun Colony. Is he going to pick the Sun Colony and fall back? Yes, he will. No, he's engaging still. He's still engaging. I think he's really confident here in taking this fight, that the Marines are pretty well spread here against these Lurkers. They're staying on the side of Lurkers, but I don't know about this one. He doesn't have enough Marines to really push through. A lot of the vessels end up getting picked off by the Scourge here, and now he's gonna have to wait for the next wave of reinforcements from Yoon. Yoon needs a macro hatch or something. He's banking up 1k, and finally the Consume upgrade is now halfway done. He forgot about that. Really bad there from Yoon. Luckily, I think Sharp misplayed a little bit. I really feel like Sharp should just be pressuring the bases, not trying to engage, because if he engages for too long here, he's going to end up losing too much of the Bioforce. Now, he's going to be pushing in here. Where are the Lurkers? Yoon's macro just slipped, I guess. What happened? Yoon just ended up losing so many lurkers. What ended up happening? Yoon's macro just completely fell apart here. He was up to, as you can see, 1200, 200. Didn't make any of these lurkers. Wow, that is such a misplay there from Yoon. That should never have happened here. After Sharp's reinforcements here are falling down to this many Marines, you really should be able to hold off this force. Yeah, I think he really needed a macro hatch there or something to keep up with the macro. Even Sharp's macro was slipping there, but it looks like Yoon just didn't have enough units there, and he just ended up getting broken through by Sharp. I mean, Sharp had great pressure, but I don't think that Yoon should have ended up losing that position. But anyways, that just means more games for us. We're going to game number 3. Sharp tie up the series 1-1. And this game 3 will be played on circuit breakers here. Spawning down at the bottom right hand position as the yellow Zerg is going to be Yoon. Which means over here as the blue Terran, it's going to be Sharp. So circuit breaker, especially these horizontal positions, I actually do favor Zerg a little bit. The reason why is because I think at 4-player maps, whenever Zerg spawns on the same side as a Terran player, either horizontally or vertically, I think they're a little bit favored because their base will be expanding away from the Terran. Whereas if they spawn cross positions, yes, any early rushes from Terran are going to be much later to come out, but it means that the Zerg has to also expand towards the Terran later on. So in these positions, I actually favor Zerg a little bit. You know, he can take the entire right side of the map here and get 5 gases pretty confidently. Whereas Terran is going to have to really push across the map if he's going to get there, right across the middle of the map. We will see something a somewhat standard game here. Early supply depot coming out for Sharp. Overlord coming out here from Yoon. So Yoon, most likely, we will see once again another 12 hatchery build, maybe a 12 pool build. And the drones are being built now. And it looks like it will be a 12 hatchery build from Yoon. So Yoon not deviating from his tried and true, his 12 hatchery build that he's executed it with every single game so far. And the SCV got coming out here from Sharp. So Sharp is doing that standard timing for scouting. I don't expect for him to go into gas. Normally, if you do go into gas, you don't send this scout, I think, this early. And also, we don't see a refinery back at his base. Yoon now is going to send out his drone scout, try to see where Sharp is, and he will be scouting, not cross map, scouting in the right direction with his drone. So he will see that this will be a very standard 1 racks fast expand, probably bio play versus the 12 hatchery build here from Yoon. Meanwhile, back at the base, Yoon has gone for that spine pool gas build. No 3rd hatchery for him. And he's going to come in here and see no gas, 2nd supply depot coming out. And most likely will be that command center being put down here from Sharp relatively soon. Drone will get himself out of there. 2nd SV coming out from Sharp, just wants to make sure that there is no kind of early Zergling play from Yoon. Although Circuit Breaker is a little weird because the Zerglings can go down through the south side and that this SV wouldn't see them anyways. But he'll be happy to see that this is a 12 hatchery build with the hatchery just now finishing. Layer being started here for Yoon. SCV will be coming here to see that. So again, most likely another 2 hatch Mutalisk play that Sharp will know about. And Sharp now, I think he saw that there's only 1 pair of Zerglings being built so far, so he's going to try to go for this little dinky push. Also, this push here from these Marines is also to try to maybe pick off a scouting overload that's haphazardly positioned over here. But he's going through the south position, and this means that any kind of overload or drone scout to the middle of the map will not see this. And this will be able to force out a couple more Zerglings, maybe even force out a sunken colony. This force here is always just designed to try to make sure that the Zerg player is forced to make a couple of more stack defenses or Zerglings to defend and to hurt the Zerg economy. And here come the Marines. 1 Zergling end up going down. Marines are going to try to maybe park themselves back here. The drone's just getting pulled off the line. Will the Marines be able to get back behind a simulator? No, they won't be. Picked off 2 of these Zerglings. Not bad, not bad. And that means that Zergling all-ins are very unlikely now. And after picking up a couple of those initial Zerglings. Good supply depot here to wall off as well. Meanwhile, Spire has been finished. Zergling speed is done, I think. Yeah, Zergling speed is done. Bunker now being built for Sharp, and he's just going to play very, very safe right now. After losing the initial 3 Marines, he just wants to make sure that he plays as defensively as possible, even just to make sure that he defends as best. He's even putting a couple of SCVs here at the front to make sure they can block off for a little bit. Marines go to the bunker, and that will be the end of any kind of, oh, most likely the end of any kind of attempted Zergling attack. Morlings are coming out here. I think that this SCV has seen a couple of them, so he knows that it could be a possible Ling all-in. But again, with this bunker out here, these SCVs position very, very well, that any kind of Ling all-in doesn't seem very likely. Or at the very least, doesn't seem like it will do much damage. Spire's just about finished. This SCV is very happy to get inside and see that this is a Spire build, not kind of any 2-hatch lurker build. Zerglings are trying to get around here into the back to pick off an SCV that is haphazardly positioned. We'll be able to pick off one. Not bad there. Some of the pathing here is a little bit wonky with these circuit breaker mineral placements. At the same time though, 3rd hatchery now being planted down here for Yoon at the 3 o'clock position. So once again going to that very fast 3rd base off of the 2 hatchery meetup build with a lot of pressure here from these Zerglings. Back in base, we're going to see Sharp going right now into a 3 barracks build. Wants to put a little bit more pressure here on the Zerg with his first initial move out. Normally with the two barracks build that, I mean, he wouldn't have as many Marines, obviously. This also means that potentially his tech will be delayed a little bit more because he's putting a lot more economy into that 3rd barracks. Missile turrets also coming out right now. First initial Mutalisks are coming towards the base, so I think these missile turrets will be done just in time before these Mutalisks arrive. This time a much more standard build. Carapace upgrade instead of the attack upgrade compared to game number 2. And he just wants to make sure these Mutalisks stay alive for as long as possible and allow himself to transition into that mid to late game. And we see here Sharp even adding on a 4th barracks right now. His Bioforce is going to be very scary, actually. Definitely going to have to watch out for how well that push comes out. Mio's going to try to poke in here. They will say that one of the missile turrets is not finished just yet. We will stop that missile turret from being finished. And a second SCV will be able to finish constructing that one. Back inside the base, it's just drones, just Milos coming out for Yoon. Just wants to make sure they can sustain that 3rd gas and then potentially go for even Guardian play. This map, with these naturals and the way that they're laid out, Guardians are actually very good right on top of this high ground. Stock can stop mining and especially easily able to pick off these missile turrets. The Marines have a really hard time getting to the back of this area to pick up the Guardians. And now the 4th barracks has finished. It looks like that Sharp is going to be gearing himself up for that initial push. +1 attack upgrade has finished as well. The +1 range upgrade for the Marines also having been done. And that means this is about the time that Sharp wants to push out. You, knowing that this is the time to push out, wants to transition away from these Mutalisks. Going to try to go into that Lurker upgrade with potentially a +1 Carapace upgrade with the Evolution Chamber. And at the same time, we're seeing the +1 armor upgrade for the Terra Marines as well as the factory coming down. So Sharp, after this initial push, will start transitioning into that tech vessel build. And really good picking off here. The micro for the bio here is doing very, very well done. Picking off a lot of these Mutalisks so far. Attack coming in here for Yoon is actually able to do quite a bit. Again, that Carapace upgrade having not been finished just yet, but these Mutas and the Lings coming together were able to pick off the Marine Force. The Marine Force kind of got stuck on that bridge a little bit, and that's really not where you want your Marines to get caught. Normally, this is the reason why when you see the Marine push will come across this big ramp, this plateau here instead. And if they do push across the ramp, they'll usually send 1 Marine to scout where these Zerg units are before, and then they'll be able to get on top across this ramp. But they don't want to get surrounded by these Marines, these Zerglings. That's exactly what happened here for Sharp. So Sharp now, again, having lost that initial Bioforce, is now in a precarious position where Yoon's tech is starting to come together. The Lurker upgrade is already halfway done. We're probably going to see a Queen's Nest coming down here. Yes, there is the Queen's Nest here at the 3rd base. And once again, it's really going to come down to how well Sharp can execute this next push. Yoon is in a fantastic position. The +1 Carapace upgrade has finished now for these Mutalisks. and these Marines with the +1 attack upgrade only have now been effectively nullified by that carapace upgrade. So picking off these Mutalisks will not be as easy, although just as I say that, Yoon once again losing a Mutalisk. So Sharp has done a fantastic job of having anti-Mutalisk control with these Marines, and he is now transitioning into that tech upgrade, getting some siege tanks out. He will be going to that traditional bio tank force that is going to look to pressure any kind of hive. Hive is now started, 1/3 of the way done here for Yoon, and he does now have a couple of lurkers being morphed at these positions to defend his 3 bases. Now, it's curious to note that he did take this base here instead of the high ground main base at the top right. Means that taking a 4th gas here will be a little trickier for Yoon. And this means that, you know, Sharp doesn't necessarily need to pressure in the bases. He just needs to pressure the potential 4th base that Yoon will go for. Now, Yoon could obviously go for the high ground base here and then plant lurkers here at the top of the ramp. But because that doesn't exist already and that the Nice Canal will not be there and exist beforehand, that any kind of attack or pressure that Sharp puts on, Yoon is going to be forced to flank instead of just defend from one side. And that might pose a little bit of trouble here for Sharp if he's not careful of the flank. And he's going for a big start here on these Marines. Mutalisks are trying to deny one part of the flank, but there's way too many Marines here as part of the flank. The 3 lurkers immediately going down here for Yoon, but he did manage to pick up quite a significant Marine force at the bottom there, which means that this was, you know, definitely a trade won by Sharp, but Yoon has to be careful right now that he's not going to lose any more of those lurkers. These lurkers are very gas intensive and very critical for his defense right here. Once again, a nice anti-Mutalisk control there from Sharp. Gonna come in. Lurker's gonna try to come here at the same time as the Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks will be able to get on top of these Marines, pick off everything. The Science Vessel, will we see a bigger radiant coming out here? There's not enough energy just yet. The Mutalisks are going to try to sacrifice themselves for these tanks, do a great job picking up the tanks. And now the Bio Force is relatively small. The Mutalisks do have to be wary of the Science Vessel when this first radiant comes out. But now the Marines are not going to really be able to pressure against these lurkers now without the tank support coming out here. First irradiate, we need to see first. No, irradiate's not even done yet right now. Here come the lurkers, going to burrow right on top of these Marines. Now, a very good irradiate here. Managed to heavily damage these Mutalisks. And now with the first irradiate having gone down, it's just going to be another slow tug of war here between the siege tanks and the lurkers. We do see no drones coming over here to the 4th base, so it looks like Yoon is just going to power up onto these 3 bases. He's now getting Adrenal Glands upgrade right now. Oh, actually, I think they just finished, as a matter of fact. Consume is halfway done. We see Carapace level 2 being started now here for Yoon. His upgrades are very well timed with the +1 Carapace already being finished. And now we're going to see Sharp here probably look for, yes, dropship play, try to slow down the economy of Yoon and potentially look to grab a 3rd base for himself here. Like I said, it will be a very slow tug of war here between the tanks and lurkers. Nice target firing there onto 2 of the lurkers. Does he able to get out here without too many casualties? He's just going to micro away from these Zerglings and now pick them off. So I think Yoon, I would say if he needs to focus on one area of his game, you know, his Mutalisk control is not bad, but he definitely can control his lurkers and lings a little bit better. At least so far from what I've seen this game, as well as from game number 2, where I end up losing quite a few lurkers to the bio pressure. And now actually Sharp looks like he's going to be going to mines. Now he isn't going to a mech switch. We can see that there's getting a 2nd starport as well as a double engineering base set up here for big marine bio upgrades. So these vultures are not going to into a mech switch, but it will help to deny against these big crackling upgrades as they scream across the map. Now a drop coming down here as well into the main base, picking off all of the Mutalisks right now. At the same time, a counterattack coming out here for Yoon, especially with Swarm. Now he's able to get Swarm on top of the natural here. It will be very big. He is forced to defend against this big dropship play. Will be able to pick off the Defiler Mound in time and the Spire. Spire will go down. Both the Defiler Mound and Spire are now being targeted down. Spire goes down, Defiler Mound goes down, and now these Marines are going to try to fit themselves into a good position here behind the hive potentially, but the crackling upgrades, crackling is super strong. We'll finally clean up this bio force, but this means that this gives an opportunity here for Sharp to now push across the map for himself and regain some map control. Meanwhile, 4th base has now been finished here. Scan going now at the natural base, not the main base, so he does not know where this 4th base is now just yet. Yoon has solidified himself into this position with the 4th base. He does need some drones over there and lurkers to defend, but now it's really just a tug of war in the middle of the map here. The dropship did get a significant amount of damage, picked up the spire, picked up the fire mount, so that's a lot of economy that's going to be sunk back into remaking those buildings. They're not cheap buildings. Spire's 200, 150, so that's a very expensive tech building right there. We're going to see where the dropships are. I don't think the dropships ended up actually going down. Yes, dropships are moving over here to this fourth base. Will they bring lurkers in time to defend? No, it looks like lurkers will be on top of the ramp, but they will not be positioned here inside the base, which means that this drop can do significant amount of damage. Now, the overloads we'll see in time. Will Yoon have proper reaction timing here to get ready in place? The dropships are going to come down here, pick off these overloads before there is a nice canal trying to come down here. Will the Marines get there in time to pick it off? The Marines are going to target down. Nice canals are very, very flimsy structures right now. The nice canal will end up going down. Will it fall? No, not targeting down. You're trying to target the lurkers instead. I think this is a mistake. Maybe you should target the nice canal, but no, instead going after the lurkers. There's actually not even enough to defend, but no scan here. No scan. The lurker is still picking off at these Marines right now. The nice canal will end up finishing just in time. A lot of these drones here will end up going down with only one lurker there. The Marines go down very slowly with these mechs killing them forever. Finally, the last Marine goes down. Firebat is right here, just kind of in the middle of no man's land. I really felt like he should have just picked out this nice canal here and then try to micro his way against these lurkers. But at the same time, a big bioforce I didn't see is coming. Just pushed right into the natural base here of Yoon. And Yoon could just not keep up with this insane drop play here from Sharp. Not enough Scourge, especially once the Spire goes down. There was no Scourge to stop these drop ships, and he ended up just losing all of his units. I wonder what happened to the middle army that Yoon had. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to go back and see what happened there. Because it looks like... Because I thought Yoon had a significant lurker pressure here in the middle of the map. I want to see what happens. Maybe he just ended up losing quite a bit of these units to mines or something. No, he just splits off 3 lurkers here to go. And it looks like Sharp, knowing that, is just going to go ahead and pressure here instead. Yeah, I guess these Marines is too much. He sent too many of these units over here to defend his his fourth base that he didn't leave enough back here at his natural to defend. As we see, he was trying to go into Ultralisks. Yeah, just not enough. I mean, these Marines are really well upgraded. 2-2 on these Marines. And these nice canals, just nothing was able to get through these canals, and double radiate picked out both the lurkers. Yeah, that was really well played there from Sharp. Once again, I feel like Yoon's macro here, just not enough units to defend. He really needs to make sure, maybe get a couple Sun Colonies later on for stacked defenses. We definitely overcommit to defense here of this fourth base. Really need a lot more units. But obviously, Sharp played a fantastic game. He did have his third base coming up as well. And yeah, a very fantastic series. Sharp's experience looks like potentially, I think, won him the series overall. I think Yoon definitely made some sloppy mistakes. Definitely, one part of his game he does need to work on is his lurker control. And I think that, you know, we'll potentially see Yoon in a couple of these upcoming ASLs, because he is a very good meals controller, but definitely has a little bit else to work on in other parts of his game. Sharp taking the series 2-1. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary done by myself, and I'll see you guys in the next cast. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.